question, and that is, what do you do all day when you're homeless and living out of your car? And so in my case, I actually had a job. And then you think, well, if you have a job, why do you live in a car? Can't you afford to live in an apartment? Actually, no, I couldn't. So what did I do all day? I went to work. And not only that, I actually had 2 jobs. And part of the reason for that is pretty simple. When you have nowhere to live and nowhere to go, spending your time at work is somewhere to be all day. So you'll probably find that someone who lives out of their car, someone who's homeless, is probably going to be one of the best workers you have, because they're certainly not going to call in sick. They're going to show up every day. They're going to stay late if you want them to stay late, because they got nowhere else to be, right? But in my case, of course, living in Seattle, rains a lot, cold weather sometimes in the winter. So you don't want to just be out walking the streets, right? And even sitting in your car, it gets really cold. So just having somewhere to go all day is important. So if you have a job to go to, let's say you don't have a job, maybe you could look into doing some sort of volunteer service. Just having somewhere to go. I think that an obvious place to go, if you have nowhere to go, is the public library. Now, some of the public libraries have limited hours, and when we had all the shutdowns, and I know that libraries were all closed down where I lived, so that was not an option, but I think right now it is an option. But I do know that some libraries, maybe they're closed on Sunday, or they have weird hours, or they're not open late at night. So just look into your area, what you have available. And then, of course, another thing that I would do is go to like a public shopping place, like a shopping mall. And the reason I say that is because shopping mall indoors, instead of just walking around out in the cold and the rain and the snow and the elements, you can walk around in the mall. Now, I'm sure someone might say, well, that sounds something like a woman would enjoy, Well, then go to Home Depot or something. Go somewhere where you can be indoors, out, away from the elements, because the more you're outside and it's cold out and it's wet and rainy, it's better to just try to stay indoors as much as you can. So if you're not working, it's a good idea to have somewhere to go. Are you just going to sit in your car all day? No. At least for me, I wasn't. And some of the benefits of actually going to public places, of course, you have public restrooms. You can go and get something to eat. And for me, me going to get something to eat, even if you're on a budget, you have very little money, just that one little thing that you go to get to eat, you really savor it. You really take your time eating it because you're in no rush to go back to your car, basically. So you enjoy the time that you're there. And also while you're there, maybe you'll be in a place that has free Wi-Fi. So that's something where you can kind of maybe charge up your phone, connect to the internet, connect to people online that, your friends, family you haven't talked to in a while, send some emails, do whatever you need to do, all the while you're enjoying your time, your meal, and you're sitting down and you're taking your time. There's no need to rush. So this is why I like to talk about, what do you actually do all day when you live in your car? Of course, there's people that are doing the whole RV van life, and they're off hiking and camping and enjoying the great outdoors, and that's great. But for someone who's trying to make it in the city and who is trying to do the whole stealth camping, sleep in their car, if you have a gym membership, which you're maybe using so you can use their showers, spend time at the gym, work out, because the gym is somewhere you can be indoors, away from the elements, out in the cold and the rain. Because I'm saying this because it's winter right now when I'm filming this, and it happens to be rainy out. But these are just some ideas. Now, of course, there's people that's the whole reason I live in my car is because I don't have a job, because I'm broke. I've got nowhere to go. Okay, well, this is where you got to think of the concept that just looking for a job is a job in itself. The time you have to spend and invest in applying to jobs, going online, going to interviews, this is where you're going to need that access to the free Wi-Fi. You're going to need to go to and try to use the computers there. If you don't have a computer, if you happen to have a laptop, or you can do things on your phone, you want to use free Wi-Fi. Now, of course, this is my little secret. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Is sometimes the library's closed, but you really want to use their Wi-Fi. Well, sometimes if you're just kind of outside their doors or outside the building, you can still pick up their Wi-Fi. So keep that in mind. The other thing is, say you want to maybe go to Starbucks and use the Wi-Fi there, but you don't want to pay for some expensive drink. Well, sometimes if you're just outside the building, you can still pick up their signal. So keep that in mind, that even if you're broke, you have still need to get on Wi-Fi to apply for jobs so you can get money. And one more thing, if you happen to be living out of your car because you have a car, think of using that car for other things, such as running errands for people, do DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything like that. If you can do some sort of delivery service, it is putting miles in your car, so please think of that, because you are going to have to pay for gas and whatnot. But if there's something you can use to your ability that you happen to have right now, maybe you don't have a mansion, but you do have a car, try to use what you've got to make it where you need to be in life. And that's my advice for today. Hope you enjoy.